could have started from the end. Now I have a house for kids and even a big land. Who knew I'd have only made mistakes that would have been fixed with a slice of cheesecake. Demo Salvatore was my 18 dream, but now the only one I be with is Chandler Bing. Yeah, here I am talking to you since I'm 30 as fuck.
Hello, welcome back. Another week, another episode. I'm Vanessa, I'm your host, and this is 30 as fuck. How you doing? How's it been? This week we're gonna talk about relationships. Okay, don't get too excited. Nothing is happening in my life, okay? But I wanted to talk about something because I had kind of like, I want to call it a situationship, but honestly, it's not even that. I am texting with this guy. It gave me some ideas because, well, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so the main idea of this episode is how difficult it is to allow somebody to, actually, how difficult it is to trust somebody with our feelings, our heart, and everything after we spent years fixing what somebody else broke. Okay. And this is a little bit my case. I don't know if it is your case, but my past relationship literally broke me down to a million pieces. And I'm actually pretty grateful about it because I was able to rebuild myself in a better way. But at the same time, I spent 4 years in therapy to do that. So it was expensive and time consuming. So how do I trust now whoever I'm going to meet the person? With my feelings and with the fact that they're not gonna do that to me again, then nobody else gonna get me to that point again. So as I said, let's say that we spend like a few years in therapy or maybe just working on ourselves and finally we feel good, we feel ready to date. What do? I have my notes. So what do? I don't know. Honestly, I am a little bit confused about this because something that it's very particular to me right now, and I think it's probably defense mechanism, or maybe it's a good thing, but I am really, really selective and really picky about what my future husband or future like important relationship would look like. And I had people telling me, Vanessa, you're never gonna find a guy like that. And I'm like, okay, if I'm never gonna find him, I'm never gonna find him. Like I'm good with myself. Like I want the relationship, but why should I settle for something less after again I spent 4 years in therapy to make myself good, and becoming a very, very good version of myself. Of course I'm not perfect. I still have my flaws, and maybe that is exactly the difficult part, meaning that I know that I have those flaws and those flaws are gonna always be there. I don't think they're never gonna go away. It's just part of my personality, and I think they are the reason why the other person left me. And so it's a little difficult, although it wasn't on me, wasn't on him, not be able to, blah, blah, blah. We know this, not be able to actually deal with certain situations. So nobody's fault. But how do I trust that the person that is coming to my life, it's going to accept those flaws and love them as he could love the good parts of me? Well, we don't. We can't trust the other person. We can only trust ourselves. And I know this sounds like a very Instagram quote or whatever self-help book quote, but it's actually the truth. And it's the truth about everything in life. Whatever you do, you change your job, you're meeting a new person, new friendship, or you're starting something new, or I don't know. Like the only everything that we do in life, the only thing that we can trust is that whatever it's gonna happen, we're gonna be able to handle it. And so I think I am gonna be able to handle it, but there's like a little part of my brain, a little part of me that it's like, are you sure? Because um if we sincerely speaking about the situation, so after I broke up with my ex, I did all the building and all the fixing, and I haven't found myself in that situation again. So I don't know if I'm gonna respond as the first time or I'm gonna respond differently. It's a little bit like I don't know, you had a car, it broke down, you bring it to fix, and now you wanna kinda turn it on again and see if it actually it's working, but you're scared because what if it doesn't work? You have to bring it back, you have to spend more money and more time. So it's a little bit the same thing. So maybe is it the reason why I don't want to put myself out there? Maybe is it the reason why I'm so picky with everybody? But also the being picky, it's I have some standards, and sometimes I want to settle a little bit, and then I'm like, no, why would you settle? Like, why would you waste all the time that you've spent to becoming the person that you are because you want your partner to match you for somebody that it's not worth it? And there's nothing wrong probably with this other person, it's just not at your same, like, it's not meeting you at your same level. So maybe he's over or maybe he's under, like it doesn't really matter. But it's still important to put your foot down, and I want to say have your boundaries. Talking about last week about this, I think my problem is also a little bit of PTSD of wasting my time and the pressure around it. So I'm 32, and I kind of want to get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. And honestly, I got it wrong multiple times in the past years because I did date, and oh my gosh, everybody was bad. Like, there was no, like, maybe there was only one that I would have saved, but unfortunately, he was not ready at that moment. I really liked him, but he was not. And I'm very proud of myself because I could have forced it and I could have been like, let's give it a try. Actually, no. I listened to what he said to me and I was like, okay, you're not ready? Okay. I deserve somebody that is ready. Let's move on. So as I said before, I can only trust myself and change who I am in a relationship. So try to be the best version of myself into our relationship while I'm standing my grounds. And I'm like, this is actually what I want, and if you can give it to me, good. Otherwise, that's fine. I'm gonna give you a little example about the guy that I'm talking to right now. So I don't think he's gonna listen to this, so whatever. So we went to a date during the summer. We met at the restaurant, we went to a date, and he asked me out, but I actually made him understand that I was interested. Either way, we went out for a date. It was a very nice date. Very good conversation. We kissed. There was some chemistry. And then I was like, hey, I would like to do this again. And he's like, yeah, for sure. And then he took forever. So I asked him, okay, do you want to go out again? You're planning something. And then he got busy, blah, blah, blah. Well, at the end, he ghosted me. Now you might say, why are you still talking with this guy? He ghosted you. Well, he came back. He said he was sorry. He forgot to answer me. I know it's a bad thing to say, to forgot. Then he started to put likes on my pictures. He started to, leave comments on my stories, all those type of things. And we started chat again. And I was like, okay, seems like that he wants another, give it another try, another chance. So I'm like, okay, I do give second chances. But now we decided basically to go out for dinner, and I told him, it's like, well, I didn't receive actually for my invitation. And he said, oh yeah, sorry, like I'm gonna get my new schedule from work and I'm gonna let you know when I'm free. Now, he disappeared. We were talking up to 2 days, and this is the second day. where he's not texting me or doing anything, I'm not going to text him or anything, because I think I've done my part. I told him what I'm looking for. So I also told him I'm not looking for just hookups. It's not worth it. Honestly. Girls, let's be honest, it's not really worth it. And so it doesn't mean that he's gonna be the love of my life. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't really like the way he's acting, and so I'm losing interest. Jesus Christ, I'm losing interest. And I was like thinking about it the other day, and one sentence came back to my mind that a very wise man told me. So when I broke up with my ex 4 years ago, my old boss, he looked at me because I was really like upset. I was crying at work, and he's almost like a father figure. He said, Vanessa, when somebody shows you or tells you who they are, you have to believe them. And that stuck with me forever. Meaning that if you're going out with somebody and this person is acting a certain way, is not doing the things that you want, or you don't feel safe or secure, you don't feel they're actually very interested, it's because they're not. It's not a game. It's not, and has nothing to do with you. There's nothing wrong with you. They're just living that part of their life that way, and they're good with it. And so don't settle for anything less than what you're looking for, because it's not worth it. And I am gonna dress up tonight because I'm going out with my girls. It's one of my closest friend's birthday, and I'm gonna post a picture. And how much do you want to guess that he's gonna like the picture? So I have the feeling that he just wants to get into my pants, and honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, it's worth the try, but at the same time, I'm not looking for that. And so I'm like, is it worth it? Is it what I'm looking for? So I'm telling you like this little thing that it's almostly related to what we were talking before, just because I do realize that I need to trust my instincts, and my instincts are telling me that this is not gonna be it, that this is not gonna be the love of my life. And also be good with it and realize it has nothing to do with me, because previously when I went out on dates and the dates were not working out or whatever, I was getting upset, and I was also like having this idea that I was wasting my time with people. And my friend told me, no, you're not wasting your time, because your life is not stopping. If you go out with him or not go out with him, you're still living your life. Until they ask you to be their girlfriend, or their intention that is so clear that you are the only one for them and they really wanted to invest time, you can go out with any guys that you want. If you're texting with him, like in this situation, but you meet a guy tonight, let's say I'm texting with him, he didn't really pick a date for another day. He's, I don't know, doing his stuff right now. And I go out tonight and I meet a guy. I'm more than allowed to actually be interested in this guy and move on. So I think that I reframe a little bit the situation that I was always into in the past few years. I was always like, I'm wasting my time. I'm putting too much effort into this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And so I lower the effort. So I'm putting the effort, if I'm interested, for the first few days. And then I see what I receive back. The moment that I don't receive back what I'm hoping for, even when I actually said what I'm looking for, then I start to actually not be disappointed anymore, but I start to be like, that's okay. Moving on. I'm gonna do my thing. And that's okay. I'm saying all this because we talked about trusting that we're going to be able to handle the situation. And I was not trusting myself at the beginning. I was not trusting that I was able to deal with whatever I was dealing in the past 2 years, all the guys that I dated. And I also pushed myself a little bit more, a little bit too much. Right away, and it's like I put too much effort right away. And now I'm lowering it a little bit, and I'm actually like a mirror. I feel that the mirror situation is actually the best that you could have, meaning that I'm mirroring whatever like the other person is giving me. So you're giving me attention, I'm giving you attention. You're putting effort, I'm putting the effort. You stop putting effort, I'm not doing it anymore. Especially at the beginning of the situation, like in a relationship or whatever. Meeting, let's call it as you want. Of course, if you're into a relationship where there's love involved and time, and maybe you're living together, that is different. Then you have to actually sit down, have a conversation. But at this point of whatever situation is going on, is it worth it to even like waste my breath? And I mean, I told him what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna be his therapist and let him know that what he's doing is wrong or not enough. But you're not doing it, whatever, moving on. So this is to go back to the sentence, and it's something like a sentence that I really like, that it's when somebody shows you or tells you who they are, you have to believe them. And so my suggestion, if you're scared to get into a relationship, into a situation because you don't know how it's gonna be, after you spend years and years picking up pieces and putting them back together in the best way because somebody else broke those pieces, broke you in millions of pieces, my suggestion is, first of all, trust your gut. And I know you thought you were right before and now you're wrong. Trust me, you were right before, you just didn't listen to your gut. Because when you went out with that guy that broke your heart at the beginning, you felt it was not gonna be good. You were just didn't want to believe it because you were, I don't know, dreaming love, or loving the idea of love. Let's say that. Second, use the sentence. When somebody shows you or tells you who they are, you have to believe them. So people tells you things, people do things to show to you who they are. Just listen to it. And it's very easy. It's very straightforward. Okay, there's nothing in between the lines. There's nothing, oh, he's doing this because maybe he's actually meaning this. No. People speaks with actions and sometimes even with words. So just listen to it. Okay, very easy peasy. Do you want to say hi to Francesca in the back? Okay, well, this was the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, subscribe, like the podcast episode, follow my page, my personal page, Vanessa Di Rossi, or 30S podcast on Instagram. Thank you so much. I hope you like this episode, and see you next week. Ciao.
Yeah, here I am talking to you since I'm 30 as fuck.